What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Post to Post podcast. This week's episode is episode 76, and with me, as always, is my co-host Matt Small.
Hey.
What's going on, brother? How's things?
Nothing. Just got done watching Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Beautiful. Tampa Bay coming back 3-2.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I didn't think that they were going to get the job done in Colorado. Being down 3-1 is a tough one to come back from, and getting an away win in Game 5 is tough.
So. I was just saying, if there's a team that can do it, it's Tampa Bay Lightning.
Never bet against them, right?
Nope,
That's
never
what
bet
I
against them.
taught you
Never bet
that
against
early.
them. They can come back.
We did have some coaching signs here around the league, a lot of them actually. So let's start with the Dallas Stars here. They hired Peter DeBoer as their next head coach for 4 years and over $16 million, so $4 million AAV.
I like a good pickup, bring him back to the Stanley Cup Finals, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely a Pavelski and DeBoer reunion down there in Dallas. It'll be interesting to see what he does and how he shakes up this roster with, Tyler Seguin, Jamie Benn not really producing. Maybe they can ship them and get some future in for them to work with Jason Robertson and freshen up that lineup a little bit. The Edmonton Oilers have also signed Jay Woodcroft to a 3-year extension, so that's pretty good for them.
Well deserving.
Yep, they're going to look at that roster and see what they can do defensively and in the goaltending department.
Right.
We'll see what's going to happen there. Mikko Koskinen is now out, we determined, right?
Yep.
He's heading back to another league.
Going back to Europe.
No answer on Mike Smith yet, right? He's not signed for next year?
No answer on Mike Smith, so goaltending is just...
Wait and see.
What the hell? It's a wait-and-see situation right now in Edmonton.
Well, they got their guy Jay Woodcroft. Hopefully they can figure something out there.
Yep.
The Chicago Blackhawks have hired Luke Richardson as their new head coach. This is a new name from the league, basically. He was an assistant coach for Montreal for the past 5 years, and he was also an assistant coach for Ottawa from 2009 to 2012.
Mm-hmm.
We saw something earlier this week that Chicago was interested in Calgary Flames assistant coach Ryan Huska. So I don't really know what happened to change that in the sense that, the reports are out there that they're interested in him. I understand people interviewing, but to see something out there that says, Chicago kind of is leaning towards this guy, and then they go in a completely different direction. It's a little weird,
Yeah, we saw, or I should say, at least I saw a thing some whatever that said Ryan Huska is now going to be the new Chicago Blackhawks head coach. So we're doing notes tonight, and then that's when I don't know what you did, but you looked it up. You're like, no, Ryan Huska's not going to be the head coach. And I was like, oh, so kind of like a last-minute change here for the Chicago Blackhawks, a team that's definitely in a revamp situation right now. So I don't know, maybe last minute they're just like, you're not our guy, we found this guy that's probably going to do it.
Craziest thing to me was hearing the GM say that Alex DeBrincat is on the trading block. They're ready to ship him and get whatever they can for him.
Big move.
Right? I feel like he could be like a core piece to build around, but he is probably going to pull in a decent amount, but I don't really know. Maybe him and Kane package them together and get a lot for him, right?
Maybe. Sorry. This is the time of off season where you're going to see big moves, especially from a team that was once playoff contending teams that are now in a whole, I keep saying revamp, but an entirely different revamp. But here they are shipping off these guys. They're just like, hey, we can get a few guys for you, some draft picks, and then here we go with Alex DeBrincat. Maybe get some guys for the future of the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, I think he'd be a really good fit for a second or third line for basically any team around the league. Great depth guy.
Maybe that fan in Game 5 was ahead of the game. Remember right behind the bench of Game 5 tonight, they get that Chicago Blackhawks jersey.
Oh yeah, that could be it.
Maybe he's way ahead of the game than us. I'd be he's I'm gonna show the national television what the team to look out for next.
For those of you guys that have no idea what's going on, Matt's talking about a fan at the Colorado Tampa Bay Game 5 tonight, behind the bench, best seats in the house, and he's wearing a Chicago Blackhawks military jersey.
To a Colorado versus Tampa Bay Lightning playoff Stanley Cup final.
Nothing makes me more mad. It makes no sense.
It doesn't
just
make
makes
any
no
sense to me at all.
I like hockey. This is my team, and I'm here to pay X amount of dollars to watch two other teams win the Stanley Cup. But also, at the same token, the Stanley Cup is being handed out on the ice. Now you get a cool picture of you in your team's jersey while the Stanley Cup's on the ice. I don't know. That's one way to spin it.
Yep.
But sticking to Chicago here, the team also promoted Megan Hunter to the assistant GM role, and she's the 4th female assistant GM in NHL history.
Yeah, I got some more to add to that, too. She's also the 3rd to currently hold that position as well. She joined the organization in 2016. She spent the last 2 years as a scout and director of hockey administration. She joins Canucks Cami Granado and Emily Castonguay, who we've talked about last year, as current women serving as assistant GM for the club. So it's great to see the NHL, just in general, moving up with the whole women's women coming into the league, you know?
Yeah, and Gatorade says, I don't want to help and grow that, so I'm out.
Nope, I'm out of here. And
But
Kat was just like, yeah, I'm in here. We're going to
I'm
help build. Yeah, I like this. We're going to
Yeah.
help build the NHL.
Nice job. Nice job.
Thank you, me.
The Florida Panthers have hired ex-Winnipeg Jets coach Paul Maurice, replacing their interim head coach of Andrew Brunette. So he actually wasn't the full-time, like, we're committed to you coach, which I thought was kind of surprising.
Yeah, that was a big shock. But Paul Maurice is a solid coach. I loved him for the Winnipeg Jets. I know they had their issues this year, but I think another great, solid veteran presence for the Florida Panthers that they need, I guess. The Florida Panthers, they're playoff contending team. I said this a month ago. They're just like, we're going to see them in the Stanley Cup Finals, although we didn't. But here we are with the veteran presence head coach that can get them there, you know?
Yeah, I think he'll shake things up a little bit there, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Good whip from behind the bench.
Right.
Barry Trotz has told us that he is not interested in free beer for life, and he is not going to Winnipeg. He is going to take some time off for himself and actually not coach at all this year, which is interesting.
What does he want? No free beer? No team?
Yeah, he doesn't want $7 million from the Flyers. He doesn't want free beer for life. He just wants to kick it.
Some men just want to watch the world burn, you know?
Barry Trotz is one of them, I guess. And then we did have a couple 2-3 signs here that I wanted to cover real quick.
Mm-hmm.
The Predators have signed Cody Glass to a 1-year, $875,000 contract. That's a two-way contract
like that's
for him.
Steal, to be honest.
Yeah, he's a decent player. It is a two-way contract. They know that they have a lot of young prospects in the mix, so I think it's good to be able to say, hey, like, we want you on the team, but we want to be able to send you up and down because we have some other guys that we want to get in the mix too, unless you can, prove yourself and stick around.
All right.
The Vegas Golden Knights haven't closed this one yet, but they're reportedly set to sign forward Riley Smith to a 3-year, $5 million plus AAV contract.
Take it.
I think that's a bit of an overpay for him personally. That's just my
I'm
opinion.
with you on that. That's why I said Cody Glass. In my opinion, Cody Glass is better than Riley Smith.
That's a tough one.
But that's a fucking tough take right there.
Yeah,
I know.
I just don't think Riley Smith is worth $5 million AAV. Like he's between 3 and 4 to me at most.
At most.
Even that seems like a lot, but that's just me.
Golden
Knights can chuck it around. And then Andrei Kuzmenko actually announced via Twitter that he has signed with the Vancouver Canucks as well.
He's going to be a massive, massive deal in the NHL. I don't know if anyone follows like NHL news or whatever, but he is big. They are looking at him left and right. Did well in Europe. There's not much. I don't have stats written down on me right now, but he did pretty well in Europe, and I guess he's a big name right now for the NHL. So this big Vancouver Canucks deal that we're talking about right now, you're going to see a lot with the NHL, and especially Vancouver Canucks. I think they're going to be pumping his tires.
Yeah, he's got 8 years over in the KHL. He's born in 96, so that makes him 25 years old. Played 4 years for Siska and 4 years for SKA St. Petersburg. He's putting the puck in the back of the net there. And it's getting better each year, so it's 3 points, 15, 25, 31, 33, 37, 53 points last season. So he's made a major step in his game from last season to this one, so it's good to see him coming over. I think he did win the World Juniors Championship with Russia on the U20 team. I'm not 100% on that. Either that or he just competed in it. But yeah, that's all I got on him.
Good to go.
Good little addition for a youth guy. Actually, 25 is not all that young, but I mean, Michael Bunting was still in the running for the Calder this year. We're going to cover that later on.
Isn't that weird to say for professional sports? 25 is not young.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about that later on too when we get to the award ceremony.
Yeah.
But 25 years old, coming into the league, he's still technically a rookie, so that's kind of weird to think about too. Is where my mind was going.
Right.
We have some bad news for Washington Capitals fans here. Nicholas Backstrom underwent hip resurfacing surgery last Friday in Belgium. And per Frank Saravelli, I have a quote here. Long road ahead for Backstrom, who, as he hinted before, may not be able to make it back to the NHL.
That's a rough hit. Nick Backstrom is a great player for the Washington Capitals. So that's going to be a big hit to the Washington Capitals. Just all around great player. I loved watching him play, and
Ovi asked us all last year, who's back he going to pass the puck to? But now the real question is, who's going to pass the puck to Ovi?
yeah. How's he gonna score?
Exactly. Oh, he'll get it done.
He'll get it done.
Might have to skate a little more, but he'll get it done.
Might have to work a little too hard. You can't just sit in his spot. Might have to skate a little, maybe a little bit more around.
Yeah, hip surgery, man. That's tough to come back from. But best of luck to him. Hope we see him back in the NHL because the NHL is a better league with him in it.
Yep, exactly.
The Ottawa Senators here. We're going to touch up on some random notes around the league right quick.
Oh, yeah.
Ottawa Senators have reached a deal to develop a new arena at LeBreton Flats in downtown Ottawa.
This just dropped, by the way. Kind of a very little detail going on here, so this is all we got. But it is a push for the Ottawa Senators to make a new arena, which I was shocked this was even news. I was shocked this is even going on. Like, we talked about the Arizona Coyotes making like a whole new arena, which makes sense. But Ottawa, I guess, is gonna be right in the smack of town. If they're trying to really get it right in the middle of town to grow the sport. I guess grow the fan base a little bit more. But I don't know. An interesting move from Ottawa. We were just talking about how before we even recorded, we were just talking about how Canada is really dumping funds into their hockey game. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So great, it'll be fun,
Yeah.
It won't be a 5,000 seat arena. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that for free.
Let's
as Chris
hope,
likes
right?
to say. Yep.
You like that one?
I like that one.
So yeah, this looks like it's going to be much closer for the team. It looks like this is on like the southwestern side of town, and LeBreton Flats is like, it's in kilometers because I'm in Canada, but it's 23 kilometers down the road. Let's call that 15 miles. So that's a decent distance. It's a 20-minute drive, no traffic. So that'll bring it much closer to the center of town and maybe a little bit better for fans to be more engaged and more involved. So
I loved Ottawa. I loved being there. It's just such a beautiful spot. Beautiful spot to be in. So I hope they do it. I hope they move on.
They are trying to grow the game in other parts in Canada this next season. Montreal and Ottawa will be playing preseason games in New Brunswick and Newfoundland in October next season.
Beautiful. I love seeing this.
A new arena coming, and spread the game a little bit more to the little, what would you call them? Cities, counties. I don't know. Whatever. Other areas that deserve some love because of how rabid their fans are.
Right. Exactly.
Down in those areas.
Got to think about it this way too. The hockey's still a growing sport. They're still trying to grow it.
Yeah. Up there's always talent and youth coming in. It's good to see.
Yep.
The NHL Awards, though, you want to get to that?
Yeah, let's do it. Keenan from Keenan and Kel, 90s people. My era. He hosted the award show this week, and I loved what he did. He somehow was able to shit on Austin Matthews and Toronto Maple Leafs at the same time. He goes, "Congrats to Austin Matthews. It's nice to see the Leafs win something in June," which I absolutely died laughing to because I just did not expect it from this dude at all. And what an SNL legend.
Yeah, and it was their way of signing off too. They were like, "That's our show for the night," and that's what they leave it on. Like, Jesus, dude, ruthless.
Oh, wow.
So funny to see.
Leave Toronto up in flames after that one, Yeah,
and I'll let you cover the award winners here, but I just wanted to chime in and let you all know that this is a young man's league now. Check out these award winners.
Young man's league, and it is just great to see. It's this new generation of hockey players coming in. So speaking of Austin Matthews, he wins the Hart Trophy for the player most valuable to their team at 24 years of age. Igor Shesterkin wins the Vezina Trophy for MVG, most valuable goalie for our leagues, at 26 years old. Cale Makar wins the Norris for the best defenseman at 23 years old, and that goes just without saying. Moritz Seider wins the Calder for the best rookie at 20 years old.
21. But did you see this little clip too? This was hilarious. This is from 3 years ago when Seider was drafted. He was selected 6th overall. And the clip was great because the announcers are like, this is like the biggest shock of the draft right now. This is like unexpected. He's taking Moritz Seider, a young defenseman. And Yzerman was in his early years in the Red Wings back office. And like, he took a huge gamble on this kid, and now it's paying off, man. Yeah. He's already won the Calder like 3 years later. Like, so cool to see.
Yeah, we've been talking about Moritz Seider all throughout just the regular season, how just incredible this guy is. It's unbelievable. Steve Yzerman just knows how to pick him.
Yeah.
One of the best players, too, and still just I guess when you're one of the best players in the league, you just like you could see talent, that other people can't,
His speech was hilarious too. Did you see that? He's like, I didn't really prepare anything, so just go with the flow. Like, don't mess it up. And he's like, oh, thanks to everyone that could make it here. My parents just got back from a vacation in Croatia, and they actually couldn't make it tonight because vacation was more important. Like, that's hilarious, dude. Just dusting his parents.
Yeah, are you actually gonna win it? I don't know. Maybe. I'm
Yeah,
all
right.
for it.
You're just a nominee, pal.
Yeah, all right. We're gonna fucking skedaddle to Croatia real quick. Fucking
Pretty sick.
Amazing.
Sick destination.
Yep. Austin Matthews also won the Lindsay Award for Outstanding Player as well. So add Austin Matthews to two of the trophies.
Yep.
So it's awesome to see.
Going home with some sick hardware.
Mm-hmm. I love that meme you sent, by the way. I sent you the post of Austin Matthews winning the I can't remember which one. It was either the Ted Lindsay or something else award, and just like his face, because he's like his hair's kind of receding. That you sent me the what the hell's that guy's name?
Oh yeah, picture of Ron Jeremy.
Picture of Ron Jeremy.
Dude, the hairline, the mustache, tough
if you
look.
guys watching the YouTube, I'll try to put Ron Jeremy and Austin Matthews next to each other. They look damn similar, bud. Oh, I was dying
Couple
laughing.
years
when you
down
sent
the
me
line.
that. Yep, getting close.
It reminded me of that Phil Kessel clip you sent when he was taking headshots for the Flyers, and he's like, "God, my hair is just gone. Like, it's gone. It's time to call it." So funny. You ready to cover the Tampa Bay Colorado series?
Let's do it.
So
Stanley Cup
sadly enough, we will not have a Stanley Cup being presented tonight, Friday, June 25th.
Nope.
June 24th. I'm sorry.
Yep.
And yeah, we're gonna have Game 6 down in Tampa. Did you see the Denver Beer Company release this awesome Colorado Avalanche tribute beer? It was called All Hail Kale, and I couldn't really zoom in and see the ABV. It was like 7 point something, but I was telling you, dude, I wish I got to like 8.0 because he wears number 8 on the ice. Like, that would have been sick.
Think about that.
8% ABV.
Yep.
Yeah. But the can looks awesome, very sharp looking, and shout out to them. I thought it was really cool to see. All right, Game 2. We got Colorado goes up 2-0 in the series here. This was pretty messed up, though. Corey Perry being the worm he is. He's in a scrum with JT Compher. They're in front of the net where the net cam has like a good angle of them. And he like literally holds the guy's skate down and the referee's in front of him. And he puts his shin pad onto Compher's ankle and just like presses all of his weight onto him. It's really messed up. Colorado was up 5-0 at the time, and Compher had been a pretty big factor in, Colorado's lineup.
Corey Perry, I don't know if he's been doing it this entire throughout the
whole
playoffs
career, dude. They call him the worm for a reason.
But it's just like it's become very apparent how kind of a dirty player he is. Like it's just not looking good.
That one was by far the worst out of the things he's done, I'd say.
I'm sure back in the day when he was with the Anaheim Ducks, it was different because social media wasn't the way it is. But now it's just like all it takes is for someone to just like rewind like a certain part, clip it, and then here you are on social media just kneeling.
Dude, it's constant though. Like even in the Winter Classic or whatever it was, Stadium Series, when he got ejected 5 minutes into the game, and he had to do the walk of shame out of the outdoor game.
Yeah.
That's just what he does. Like, I get it. It works to a certain point, and there's like a certain respect factor to, getting under the opponent's skin.
Mm-hmm.
But something like this, like where you're almost intending to injure someone, like that's not cool.
Right, and we're gonna get into that with Game 3, where he just decides to. It's just him and Darcy Kemper who just kind of minding his own business. Although he's got a mask on, so I don't know if Darcy Kemper's even saying anything. But Corey Perry's here just trying to punch him right in the gut. It's just. I don't know, a player to go after a goalie just kind of sit in the crease is just such a dirt move, I don't like it.
Pretty lame.
But you also don't see Darcy Kemper under the mask. I don't know if he's talking shit to Corey Perry.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's instigating it. So
Doesn't seem like that kind of guy though. You know what I mean?
He doesn't. He doesn't at all. So.
It'd be nice, dude. I'd like to see did we have that at all? A Corey Perry and a Jordan Binnington matchup? No, right? Because
oh my God.
The Blues beat the Bruins, and then the next year. It was Tampa in the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
No. Who did Tampa beat the first time? Montreal the second time. Dallas the first time. So I don't think Perry's met St. Louis like that yet, where it's really like do or die, But that would be a good matchup. I'd like to see that.
You brought up Jordan Binnington and one of our fans, Alex. It's almost like we jinxed it. It was like because they weren't in the playoffs. It was like toward the end of the
I remember this.
season.
No, they made playoffs.
Oh,
they got bounced first round, I think, though.
It was I can't remember what I said something where just like, oh wow, Binnington's been
pretty
calm
good
as of late, and Alex said the same thing, and then all of a sudden, like, it was only that game where just like Binnington was on his shit again. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? You know, is that
He heard
calm?
you.
He heard me. He's like, that's right. I gotta up the bullshit right now. Mm-hmm.
Bullshit factor through the roof.
Yep.
Did you see the fan in the crowd at the Tampa Bay game when they were in? This is Game 3 now. There was a Pat Maroon fan in the crowd.
Patrick Maroon Jr. or the best Patrick Maroon is what I want to say.
It was pretty hilarious.
It was hilarious. He looks exactly like him, and he's the Patty Maroon that I would want to see on the ice.
I've never thought to do it, but I think it's hilarious to see a fan in the crowd wearing like a hocky helmet or a goalie mask. I think that's so funny.
Hysterical. It reminds me of when I saw that. It reminded me of I'm literally remembering this right now, and I can't remember the teams. I can't remember the game, but some player took someone's helmet and threw it into the stands, and one of the fans was drunk and just put it on his head.
That's so funny,
And
dude.
I guess security had to like literally come after him for the fucking helmet.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, I think we've talked before about NBA. You get the game ball. You can either keep it and leave, or you can give it back and stay and watch the game. Like, that's probably what it was. Security's like, you need to either give that helmet back or you got to go.
That's all it is in the MLB, really?
NBA.
Oh, NBA.
NBA, yeah.
They're talking MLB. I was going to say...
Oh, no, the MLB gives balls away left and right. You sent me a funny clip. I forget the guy's name, too. He's in the outfield, makes an easy out, and he's going over to the fans in like deep right field. It's Father's Day. He goes to hand this guy a ball, and then last second takes it away and fucking hums it back to the infield as if he was going to give him a souvenir. He's like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, get fucked. I was going to bring up Japan, because Japan... You can't keep home run balls.
Oh, really? The Japanese Baseball League? That's like number 2 in the world, I think. Japan's huge on baseball.
Japan's huge, yeah. So if you catch a home run ball in Japan, security or whatever the fuck, or whoever works there will come up to you and be like, hey, we need the ball back. And what they do is they give you like free merchandise from like the store or something.
Oh, that's
like
pretty
that
cool,
instead, which is cool. But I don't know, man. Like, if you're like a huge Japanese baseball fan, like you catch the ball of like one of your favorite players, home runs, I think I'd rather keep the ball.
Yeah, but I mean, like 9 times out of 10, the odds of you getting like your favorite player's home run ball, you know what I mean?
It's fucking
in the
through
MLB,
the
it's
roof,
usually
yeah.
a foul ball. It's some random guy you don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, you're absolutely right. Like I'd be like, oh no, I didn't catch that, and like stuff it in my pocket. You know what I mean?
It's a weird rule.
It is, yeah. It's pretty funny.
It is what it is.
There was a scary situation in Game 3 for the Lightning fans, though. Devon Taves of the Colorado Avalanche cross-checks Kucherov. It's like right in the back, like above the pants, below the shoulder pads, like right in the ribs almost. And then he drives him down, and he slides like shoulder first into the boards. I think he went off for a little bit, took himself out, and then came back and finished out the game. But
yeah,
tough to see. It would have been bad to see them lose him, right?
it was weird. It was like lower... I want to say it went from like middle back to like lower back. Like it was almost like he just like ran his stick lower back, and then he fell awkwardly too. So
Brutal cross-check.
yeah, it looked bad. Looked really
Shit hurts.
bad. Mm-hmm.
And then the last few seconds of the game, Logan O'Connor and Ross Colton had an unreal fight. This was ridiculous, dude. Like, just haymaker after haymaker, beating the brakes off each other.
I'm loving this Stanley Cup Finals right now because
There's a lot of hatred.
a lot of hatred. And two, it's like after the game, so after like the horn blows, like, and I just love how like the game, the ABC or ESPN or whatever, they still show it because there'll be a scrum after, like just fighting and everything. Like, it's what the fans want, you know?
Yeah, dude, and the fight was weird too. Like, it was a scrum, like you said. All the guys are partnering up, and then one of them starts throwing bombs, and he connects on like 2 of them, and then the other guy's like, "No, fuck that," and he starts sending them back. Like, they were throwing some heavy hits, man. Yeah. And then at the end of that, the very end, once everything's all settled down, cooled over, fans actually started throwing things on the ice, and Stamkos was not happy with them. He's waving them off, telling them to stop, and like he almost got hit with a few like beer cans or whatever the hell they were throwing.
Yeah, it's. I get the fans. I understand the fans, but also like when you have so many people throwing shit on the ice, like you can hit a player, you can. I don't know. It's not a good look to begin with. I think as a captain of the organization too, I think it says a lot.
Dude, what I don't get as a fan, like I get like 1 asshole, 2 assholes, whatever. There was a lot of stuff being thrown, man. Like, come on, people. Like,
yeah, what the fuck?
I don't get it. I'll never be on board with that. Like, it's so
Unless
weird.
it's a hat trick. That's it.
Yeah. Then you can throw your beer cans on the ice.
The only thing, you know what? No, you know what? I'm gonna skip by that because I was like, the only thing the other thing I could think of is, remember Detroit Red Wings are in the playoffs and they threw the octopus on the ice. And we have we talked about this too, the Scout Kraken, and we're like, dude, they threw actual squid on the ice. I'm like, no, dude, that's a fake squid.
The rats in Florida was pretty cool.
The rats in Florida, yeah. That got out of hand, though. I remember that, was it Van Breesbroek? The goalie for Florida Panthers was just like hiding in his net because there was like a million rats.
It was pretty cool to see, though. It's pretty funny the way they bounced around.
I guess as long as it really doesn't hurt a player, but in this game in general, it's just like people are just throwing shit. Like you don't know what it was. They were just throwing shit. You know.
It was weird to see them almost hitting like their own players too. Like, what are you actually doing? What are you trying to accomplish here?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Like you didn't win the cup. It's just you won a game.
Yeah, I think it was more like a boo Colorado, but like, why are you throwing them at Lightning players then? Just didn't make sense.
At home. Yeah. Okay.
But then Game 4, the Nazem Kadri show returns. He comes back. He had his thumb surgery not too long ago. Returns, plays, and in Game 4 he scores the overtime winner. So there was like huge controversy on this one. It was nuts. So the Avalanche technically had 6 players on the ice when this goal was scored, and the official score sheet even listed all 6 players as getting a plus on the goal. This was just like the weirdest thing in the world, but I get it. Like sometimes changes happen and the guy's foot is still technically on the ice. This kind of was like a little bit dicey though. Like it wasn't really like that. But John Cooper had a quote at the end of the game, like, my heart breaks for the players because we probably should still be playing.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I get being upset about it, but like I just picture like Anchorman when the dude like kicks the dog off the bridge and Will Ferrell's like crying in the phone booth, like that's John Cooper.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
My heart breaks, he says, like, all right, come on now, easy.
Calm down.
But the NHL Hockey Ops did actually release a statement, too. It said, quote, "A too many men on the ice penalty is a judgment call that can be made by any of the 4 on-ice officials. Following the game, Hockey Ops met with the 4 officials, as is their normal protocol, and in discussing the winning goal, each of the 4 officials advised that they did not see a too many men on the ice situation on the play. This call is not subject to video review either by Hockey Ops or the on-ice officials." Mm-hmm. So that answers basically why we couldn't, have a coach's challenge or anything like that.
Here's where I say, when I said the hockey game is still growing, I think the NHL or hockey just in general should look at this specific situation and be like, all right, let's change the rule here where John Cooper could be like, all right, I want a coach's challenge here and see what happens. Because
and I mean, in the sense of it, like, they did review it, like they said, but at the end of the day, I think even if they do review that, right, one team celebrating an overtime Stanley Cup Finals win, you're never going to be like, we got to call that back. You know what I mean? Like, when are they ever going to have the balls to be like, no? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why you're right in the sense that a coach's challenge should, at some point, be thought about to be allowed to be happen. You know what I mean?
Because John Cooper knew, like, in that interview, he's like, he knew there was 6 people on the ice. So it didn't make sense to me that John Cooper, I even asked you, I'm like, why couldn't John Cooper do a coach's challenge? And then we're like, oh yeah, you can't review it. I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. This is Stanley Cup Finals. Ref missed a call.
And my main thing with it is, like I said, it's overtime where like there's so much emotion in an overtime winner that like it's so hard to take bite the bullet and say no goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The only thing I think of is, was it Marc-Andre Fleury for the Pittsburgh Penguins? There was a certain situation, but this is regular season, so it just kind of shits the bed. There was it was in a shootout. I remember this much, and a goal got called back because they thought they scored. It ended up hitting like the crossbar. It didn't fully cross the line, and like the other team celebrated and like left the ice, and then the refs are just like, you guys need to get back out of the locker room and get back on the ice. And then the Pittsburgh Penguins won in the shootout.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they came back and
That's
won.
crazy.
I can't remember what the other team was. I remember
nuts.
it was Marc-Andre Fleury, but I can't remember the other team. But
This game, though, gave me major Chicago Blackhawks vibes when, like, Patrick Kane's the only guy that knows that he scored,
Yep.
Same way that Nas was. I mean, even Nas wasn't celebrating.
Even Nas wasn't like,
didn't know.
where the hell the fuck did that go? You know? I still said, I don't know if I told you, I was telling my coworker who we were talking about, I was like, Nazem Kadri has such like a crazy shot that he shot that puck and had no idea where the fuck it went.
Yeah.
It was just insane. But yeah, you're right. It reminded me of like Patrick Kane because they showed Nazem Kadri in a certain angle just kind of like looking like, where the fuck did that puck go?
Someone is like the first person to realize and like points to where it is, like up under that top bar,
Yep.
It's like,
and
damn.
It's like, holy shit, we scored. Yep.
Yeah. Interesting little stat, too. We've talked about this quite a bit this season, about goalies getting better at shooting and passing the puck. Darcy Kemper's the first goalie in NHL history to record an assist on an overtime goal in the Stanley Cup Finals. So I thought that was pretty neat, too. So we'll probably see more of that in the future, I think.
I do want to kind of go down on a Darcy Kemper rabbit hole here, too. Darcy Kemper, every time I think of him, I think of the Minnesota Wild, by the way, but it's been a while. He's been on a few teams since. But I'm like, where is this Darcy Kemper coming from? I always say goaltending is huge in the playoffs, but then we have the Colorado Avalanche that is just Cale Makar. He's offense, he's defense, he's goalie, he's everything. And I'm like, is Darcy Kemper just kind of like that guy that just is just, for some reason, we never talked about him, I feel like, during the regular season. So, like, is this guy just kind of, like, fell by the wayside here? So, these are just some stats from him from, like, the regular season. So, the regular season, he was 2.54 GAA, which was 11th in the league. Then he had a .921 save percentage, which was 5th in the league. Now, that's regular season, so you're like, that's pretty good, right? Now, let's talk about the playoffs here, where it just sinks. So, you're just like, oh, okay, here. So
what are these stats through? Game 4?
These are stats for the playoffs?
Yeah.
These are stats from like the beginning of the playoffs to Game 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So from the beginning of the playoffs to Game 4, here are his stats combined. So he runs a 2.66 GAA, which was 11th in the playoffs. And then he runs a .898 save percentage, which was 19th in the playoffs altogether. So you're like, what? So this is Darcy Kemper in the playoffs here. So it's mainly run on the whole Colorado Avalanche being as a whole. You know, not really relying on Darcy Kemper to get the job done, but as a whole, you know, offense, defense to get the job done. And
which is nuts for him to have that bad of stats when the Avs have only dropped. Well, now it's 4 games, but they had only lost 3 games this postseason.
Yeah. Not nuts.
And that just goes to show how many goals they can put up to make up for any kind of defensive and goaltending lapses that they have.
That's exactly it. It's like if Darcy Kemper has a bad night, Colorado's like, nah, we got this. Don't worry. We'll come back.
I'm probably going to butcher this stat, but I think Tampa was like one of 4 teams in NHL history, or maybe it was the first. I forget what it said. To play 4 opponents in the Stanley Cup on their run that had 50 wins in the regular season too.
Yeah,
so that was interesting to look at.
Yeah,
so all 4 of the opponents that they've had to get through so far, all 3
wins.
have won 50 games in the regular season, which is nuts.
That's insane.
It just shows how strong the East was and how strong Colorado is to make it out of the West too.
It goes back to who's the Western Calgary? Who's the Calgary coach? They're just like, I'd rather play any other team.
Yeah, Daryl Sutter.
Colorado.
Colorado's the free 8-day sweep.
That's insane.
I was thinking, too, when you mentioned comparing Darcy Kemper stats, I was thinking about Cale Makar, how unique he is to the league and how he's like the first defenseman to change the game a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So let's look back at a few Stanley Cup winners and tell me when you think of a guy defensively, like a young defenseman that helped their team win the cup as much as this guy has, right? Yeah. So last year was Tampa Bay. The year before was Tampa Bay. I don't think Sergachev had that much of a factor.
No.
You know, St. Louis Blues, I don't think defense really did it for them, right? Washington Capitals, Pittsburgh Penguins for 2 years, Chicago Blackhawks, Los Angeles Kings. This is where I think it gets dicey. Like, I don't know how young Drew Doughty is, but that could be it in 2012, 2014.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Duncan Keith on Chicago. I don't know how young he was then, but
Brent Seabrook, too.
Seabrook.
Brent Seabrook for the Chicago Blackhawks at the time. He was a god.
Just those guys, like, I don't know, though. I mean, nothing's on the same level as this Cale Makar.
No, Cale Makar is on an entirely different level. He's an entirely different, like, ladder.
It's insane to me how defensively accountable he is when he single-handedly is the one carrying the puck through the neutral zone and gaining and entering the zone every time, too. Mm. Like, the offense almost runs through him and McKinnon.
I was just telling you, like, he just, exactly what you just said, where he just kind of, like, runs, he just skates so easily into the offensive zone where you're thinking, like, oh, this guy's
a forward.
Yeah. And then you realize he's a defenseman, and you're like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, no wonder why Wayne Gretzky is the greatest of all time is pumping this dude's tires. You know, just it's unbelievable what Cale Makar is doing. It's like this is the new generation of hockey, and we're seeing it in full force with Cale Makar.
And I think the level-headedness that you see of this Colorado Avalanche team against a two-time, defending Stanley Cup winning team, they don't seem like they're sweating. They're worried. Like they're level-headed through and through. I think Nate McKinnon, if he wins this cup, he's going to be the next Sidney Crosby. Those two are like really good friends. They train together, so he's got the same mentality, and I think he's going to be like a great leader for this team. And I just think like they're very well-rounded, and this is going to be an awesome. Hopefully, like
I wanted 7 games so bad.
I did too. I almost think that this could end up like the NBA, where we see Tampa and Colorado for the next couple of years, if they can maintain. Like, who's going to stop Colorado in the West if you look at it like that, right? No one was really competition for them. They only dropped 2 games. Tampa Bay is still a fucking Goliath. Like,
yeah,
no one really gave them much of a fight either. I mean, they did go to 7 with Florida, if I'm not mistaken. I forget. I think they got tested this season, but they're still there, and we could see that,
Good.
Anything happens in the NHL, though, like
anything.
Injuries, you name it.
All right, we're talking about Oilers who don't know what the hell is going on with their goaltending situation, or just the situation in general. I wasn't going to bring it up at all, but we were just talking about Paul Maurice coming in as Florida Panthers, and I heard something in the lines of Sergei Bobrovsky
as a trade bait,
as a trade bait, and so that leaves Spencer Knight.
Good luck with that fucking contract.
Holy shit. Yeah, right?
He didn't perform badly, but I bet that's the GM realizing, like, we can't pay this guy $10 million for however much longer we're supposed to. Like,
exactly.
He played well this season. Let's offload him. Let's eat a little bit of the salary and move on.
100%. And so you're right in the sense where just like, I don't know, does Colorado need to do anything this offseason?
If you think about it, right, they had
Lightning need to do anything?
Didn't they have Grubauer and another goalie last year on Colorado, or was Kemper there? Because I'm pretty sure they shook up their goaltending, and we were like, I don't know what this is going to do to their team.
There was some team that I know Arizona Coyotes shook up their team, and that's where Vejmelka kind of came out of nowhere. But as for,
I feel like Kemper came over this season from Minnesota. It might have been last season.
No, Kemper came from. If you want to look it up, fuck, I can't remember where he came from, to be honest.
San Jose,
Arizona.
Oh, yeah, it could have been.
Yeah, I think Tassi Kemper came from Arizona. I think it was Kemper and Mike Smith. How am I fucking this up here?
He came over between last season and this season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they shook everything up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They had 2 different goaltenders last year.
Right.
So we didn't think much of Colorado initially, I don't think. I think we both had them in the playoffs, but not like this.
Not like this. We know when Dara Sada said, like, Colorado's like an insane team. It's weird to say from like a Western Conference perspective, where you're just like, yeah, of course, like they're a great team in the West. But now that we're seeing it compared to the East, you're just like, Jesus.
Well, no, we knew it at that time too when Sutter, had that quote, because Colorado was neck and neck with Florida all season long for the President's Trophy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really just the last couple weeks of the season where they kicked back and rested their guys, and look what that did for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Save some wind for the playoffs, and the Florida Panthers burned themselves out, earning that President's Trophy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But Game 5, the last time a team came back from a 3-1 series deficit was the Maple Leafs in 1942. And Tampa Bay went on to win this game 3-2 with 6 minutes left in the game to force a Game 6 this Sunday. So you're going to enjoy that. It's going to be Sunday for Game 6, and I want to say Tuesday or Wednesday for Game 7.
Yeah, so this episode is going to drop Monday, so God only knows we got a Stanley Cup winner on our hands.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Tampa's going to be home. I don't want to see Colorado win in Tampa because I'd rather them win it on home ice.
Yep.
And also, I want to see a Game 7 so fucking bad.
But
I think Tampa could pull it off, pull off a Game 6 win, and then it's anybody's game. It's a coin flip when it comes to Game 7 in Colorado. Because Tampa's now proven that they can get a win in Colorado, so we'll see.
We just talked about Vasilevsky's stats when the game's on the line. When a what's the word I'm looking for?
Series
is on the line. Now that they're home too, it's Vasilevsky's turn to really put those stats to good use.
He looked pretty good tonight too.
He looked better tonight.
I didn't like John Cooper's quotes blaming the altitude in Colorado. That's kind of a cop out, but
bullshit,
I mean every league does it when they play Colorado. MLB, NBA, NFL, they all do it. But it is a factor. It definitely is. But they always call it out.
Mm-hmm.
Lack of oxygen is tough. But they also say that excuse me, there's been a lot of people complaining that people are training like in Colorado, so they get used to that, and then their body's operating on less oxygen, and they're more prepared for when they do have more oxygen. Yeah. There's also those masks that look like a when you work with like spray paint all day long, you can limit your oxygen intake at like the gym and stuff, and that will allow your body to get used to operating on less oxygen as well. And
that goes with what we talked about last week too with Kazimir Kaskasuo, the whole goalie retreat. They did it in Colorado too, like literally right in the mountains. Like they're in the mountains. There's some rink there that they were into too. So I didn't even think about that. I honestly did not think about that at all until you just brought it up. I was like, oh, maybe that's the reason why they decided to train there and go there.
Yeah, could be, because a lot of Olympians definitely do that, because that makes your body operate at the optimal, efficiency.
Right. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, you're right. Less oxygen, maybe better. Get the lungs working a lot more than they used to, and get your body prepared for everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we got Game 5
in the books.
Game 5 is... I said in the beginning of Game 5, I was like, this game's going to go 5-2. That was my final score for the Colorado Avalanche, because I wanted... for the... What did I say? Tampa Bay, right?
No, you took Colorado.
You took Colorado, so I said Tampa Bay.
You took Colorado.
Oh, I took Colorado. Yeah. Sorry. All right. So I said Colorado Avalanche 5-2 final score. You said Tampa Bay 5-2. We're pretty close. It was a lot closer of a game than it was in the beginning. The beginning of the series, what was the first game?
First two games were blowouts. I think they were feeling each other out. Now they kind of know how each team operates. They're used to the players. They probably didn't meet up all that often in the regular season too. So, like the Tampa Bay Lightning's learning about how, Makar can get that zone entry, treat him like a forward, things like that. Yeah. So
we want to bring more of not seeing each other either too. We're coming out of COVID. We're coming out of the bubble too, where like not only haven't they seen each other in a while, they haven't seen each other in a few years,
that too.
So add to that whole aspect too. So I don't know, maybe John Cooper is right, maybe we're calling bullshit on him, but I don't know. I was just saying
it's definitely a factor, but just the fact that you bring it up, like, kind of a cop out, kind of looking for excuses here.
Because I was talking to, even though you were saying Pat Maroon is a slow player, I was just saying like he was trying so hard to catch up to, I think it was Nichushkin or McKinnon or some along those lines, and he looked like he was struggling, and I'm like, wow, for just Avalanche looked so much like smoother and faster than the Tampa Bay Lightning in this game. Even though Tampa Bay was still able to get the job done here.
Yeah, they finally got their power play going. I think Kucherov's first goal of the Stanley Cup Finals was tonight, which is Game 5. Andre Palat's been huge for them, too. I thought he was great tonight. Sergachev looked really good, around the outside. I think Tampa Bay looked just on tonight. Oh, yeah. Vasilevsky, too. Even though he kind of started to shake a little bit, started lacking some confidence at the end. He was worried about squeakers.
He looked bad. Yeah, there was a few saves that he had that he was looking behind him, as soon as he saved it. So, yeah, you're right. He was getting a little squeaky on there.
But at the end, he got it together. I mean, they were hemmed in the zone for a little bit there, 6-on-5, too.
Mm-hmm.
Another almost too many men on the ice missed call. Corey Perry was yelling from the bench and got the call for his team.
Mm-hmm.
But they almost missed another one that could have led to a goal.
Right. So again, this going to drop on Monday.
Know what else is dropping on Monday? I got a little side panel for you here.
Ooh, go ahead.
The Hockey Hall of Fame Selection Committee is meeting on Monday to finalize their new group of inductees. So because of COVID-19 back in the day, it delayed 2020's induction. There was no Hall of Fame class for 2021, and instead the November 2021 celebration included 2020 Jerome McGinley, Marian Hossa, Kim St. Pierre, Kevin Lowe, Doug Wilson, and Ken Holland.
Whoa.
So this year they're looking at some guys, and this is an article from Daily Faceoff, which I really like the way they write this. It's very casual, laid back. So they're looking at none of these guys are definitely in, so they're calling them near locks, right? So yeah. Daniel and Henrik Sedin are both on the ballot this year. Caroline Ouellette, they think they're both near locks. She's definitely going to be Hall of Fame at one point. They just don't know if it's going to be this year. One of the most decorated players of all time, 4 gold medals, 4 Clarkson Cup titles, CWHL MVP, and a Clarkson Cup MVP. So She's pretty good. Strong arts for Roberta Luongo and Jennifer Botterill. I'm sorry. Rod Brindamore is on the list, along with Daniel Alfredson, Alexander McGillney. And then they say not yet, but maybe someday for these guys. Henrik Zetterberg, Sergei Gonchar, Patrick Eliash. And he wanted to make a case for this one. Ready? You're going to like this. Tom Barrasso. Which goaltenders have at least one Vezina and multiple Stanley Cup rings, more than 350 wings? The list is Patrick Waugh, Martin Brodeur, Marc-Andre Fleury, Terry Sawchuk, Jacques Plante, Grant Fuhr, Dominic Hasek, and Tom Barrasso.
Tom Barrasso's
right.
on that list?
Right. Isn't that funny? So that's why he's like, yeah, let's see if we can get him in, you know?
I would have thought Van Briesbroek more than Tom Barrasso.
No, on that list.
On that list.
So he Van Briesbroek, something's keeping him out of that. He doesn't have at least a Vezina, multiple Stanley Cup rings, and more than 350.
Wow.
So those are the only guys that have done that.
Holy shit.
But the reason that the Hall of Fame doesn't really want him in, I guess, is his personality. He wasn't very media friendly. You know, kind of like a.
Neither was
a
Terry Sawchuk. Look at Terry Sawchuk. He didn't want anything to do with the media.
Yeah, but his career earns it. A guy like Tom Barrasso, he has those things, but it's like, you know,
this could have added to it.
So,
you know? Yeah.
And then they have a couple here that are worth another look. Keith Tkachuk, Jeremy Roenick, Theo Fleury, Cujo. Yeah. 7th all times in wins, no cups, no Vezinas, 3-time finalist for the Vezina.
Interesting.
So I just thought this was a really cool article.
Yeah.
They had a cool little one on Herb Carnegie for the builder category. This is cool. I'm going to read this whole thing if that's all right.
Yeah, do it.
Willie O'Ree broke the NHL's color barrier in 1958. But before that, Carnegie was locked out of the sport's highest level because he was a black man, despite being, according to accounts from legends of the game, a dominant player at the time, winning multiple MVP awards in the senior leagues he was not allowed to play in. He's unlikely to get inducted as a player since he never competed in the NHL, but he feels long overdue for an induction as a builder and a role model who paved the way for other athletes of color to break through in the NHL.
Yep.
I've never heard his name in my life. I thought that was really cool.
Wow. That's cool shit.
Yeah, so I like this little article that they wrote up. Daily Faceoff is a great site. We use it all the time. Same thing with Hockey DB. So
Hockey DB and Daily Faceoff.
know what else is a great website is thehockeyedge.com. So hockey moms and hockey dads, if you're looking for a summer camp to send your kids to this summer to develop their hockey game further, you should check out thehockeyedge.com. They have a great program going on there, including 8 hours of skills and games per week throughout July and August. And their amazing staff is going to take your kid's game to the next level with current NHL guest coaches Charlie Coyle and Connor Garland. Registration includes daily lunches and snacks, as well as pick-up and drop-off schedules in the Greater Boston South Shore area. Registration starts at $3.95 a week, and be sure to let them know the guys at Post to Post sent you.
What a segue.
How about that, baby?
That wasn't even planned, by the way.
That's what's
up.
up.
Look at that. That's professionalism right there.
You know it.
At its finest. Yeah, let's go back to the whole Hockey Hall of Fame too. If you are a hockey fan, just in general, or just look things up, dude. If any of the listeners, if you've ever been to the Hockey Hall of Fame, if you ever want to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame, definitely do it. You get to see. So there's 2 Stanley Cups. One is just there when
we've done this. We've done this before.
We've done this before. Yeah.
There's 5 of them actually.
But they have a huge where the Stanley Cup is. There's a bunch of different trophies too. The original Stanley Cup with the rings out is in a separate literally locked room that you can go see, which is awesome to see. But for the Holly, they also put the names of people from the Hockey Hall of Fame that are in there. And when you read it, there's going to be a lot of names that you don't know at all. And if you want, or what you should do too, is take a photo of it with your phone. And any names that you don't do, literally Google it or Hockey DB it. And you just, it's insane how many players just kind of go by the wayside. Not even just players, but just people from in the hockey organization that just really go by the wayside that got into the Hockey Hall of Fame that you learn about and you're like, wow, what they've done for the hockey in general is just insane, and you wonder why you never even heard of them before, So if you ever get the chance, definitely do it. Have you ever been?
No, it's in Toronto, right?
It's in Toronto. Awesome.
Never been to Canada.
You've never been to Canada?
Yeah.
Sorry, my mind is just it just stopped for a second. You've never been to Canada?
No, I haven't been to Canada.
I love it up there. I gotta bring you.
You've only been twice, right?
Oh, twice. I've been there like almost 10 times plus.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Love it.
I thought you only went for the
I went to
hockey camp.
John Elkins Goalie School in Mississauga, Ontario.
And then
Toronto.
I thought you did that trip.
And yeah, we've done a few trips too.
Oh yeah, you did Vancouver, and then on a separate time you did Ottawa.
I've done
right?
John Elkins at least a handful of times.
No shit.
And so that's Mississauga, Ontario, and Toronto. And yeah, the only two places I have not hit is Nova Scotia and Calgary. When I did the road trip through Canada, we almost hit Calgary, and we're like, it's just like it's a bunch of nothing over there. I'm not saying it's not beautiful, but when you're driving, you're just like, I think we should just head back to Boston.
Could have met up with the guys from on the bench, dude.
Maybe.
Could have been chewing up your skates.
Maybe.
Skating on concrete.
But I heard Nova Scotia is beautiful. I actually found out that I have ancestors from Nova Scotia too.
Nice.
So it's weird that I'm all around Canada and not where I'm apparently from. So add that to the list of bullshit.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, Canada's absolutely beautiful. I love it. We gotta take it some time. We'll go to Montreal for a Canadiens game, and
it's just much. I don't know. It's just better to go to Aruba. Tropical island.
Can't stand.
Sit on the beach.
Can't stand your type of people.
Why?
I don't know. Just like go up to people and be like, "Hey, where do you want to go to? Where do you want to go on vacation?" And be like, "Oh, I'll go to Hawaii." I'm like, my idea of vacation is traveling. Like my next, where I want to go next is
travel to Aruba.
Go to like Finland, Sweden.
Travel to Aruba.
Back to Japan.
You said my type of vacation is traveling. You travel to Aruba. You know that?
Aruba's not.
You've
like
never
a
been there.
Travel spot.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Yeah, what's in Aruba besides nice beaches and nice weather? It's just a vacation spot. It's not a travel spot.
It's a vacation spot.
You
yeah,
travel to a vacation spot.
There's culture to it too.
Yeah. What's the culture?
They have their own food. They have their own language. They're a Dutch Holland. What's the word? Colony. They have their own currency. Like, you gotta hit it, dude. I'm telling you.
Okay. All right.
I'd hit it. I'll go back again. Don't worry. You'll come with me.
After I go through Europe. Yep. I can't wait to travel again.
Go
My
do it.
passport's up. I gotta get another
fuck.
passport.
That'll hold you back a little bit.
So hold me back a bit. I want to go back to Japan so fucking bad, but Sweden, Finland, they're up there.
Telling you, dude. You'll never
Anywhere
have a more.
in Europe you want to go to?
You'll never have a more relaxing vacation than Aruba.
Really?
Like when I go for like a week, and like every other day, it's like one day we'll do something, and the next day we do nothing. Like you just sit on the beach, like drink and eat, dude.
That's not my type of vacation.
Bro, that's a vacation. Like you relax, you take it easy, and like that's why I don't like jam everything in. Like I have to like do everything, and you're on a time schedule.
That's what I like. You know, I don't like to when I go to Japan.
Right. That's why you need to do it,
just
dude.
do
You do it
everything.
once, and you're like, holy shit, this is amazing. Like you just enjoy it.
I'll do it once with you.
Yeah, you should, man. It's a great time. But no, I was the same way. I was like, I want to travel. I want to see everything in the world. I want to go everywhere. And once I went there, dude, it's just so easy. Like it's a 5-hour flight. It's direct. You're in like it's just so easy. And like we have Islander friends there. We have locals. Like it's great.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your wedding was in Aruba, right?
Yeah, it was one of them.
Yeah.
I had two because of fucking
few.
COVID. Bullshit, bro.
And I still couldn't make one of them. Fuck. I felt bad.
Well, no. The driveway one was like family only. You know what I mean? We didn't have like a big
why?
wedding. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other one was in Aruba, so I didn't hold it against anyone that couldn't make it. Like,
Yeah, I remember.
That's a big ask.
I remember getting that. Be like, hey, we're having a wedding. I'm like, okay, cool. And like in Aruba, like,
Yeah. We gave everyone like a year's notice,
You
though, a
did.
year and a half,
You
so that
did.
people could save up and like get there. But with your job, it was different. I totally get it.
Different. Like,
And that's what he said. Like, we're not gonna hold it against everyone. You make it, you make it. You can't, no worries. You know.
And I love the photos from it too. It
was
just
sick,
looked like
dude.
a beautiful
So
spot.
sick.
You know,
Yeah.
great time. I'm sure you were legless most of that time.
I held it together pretty well, I'd say. But it was so cool. Like, some people came for like 2 days, 3 days. Some people came for like 7, 10. Like, and then like each day, a different group's coming in, different, but like all my family. Like it was cool,
awesome.
dude. It was
That's
like
awesome.
I think it was like 70 of us almost.
Holy
Yeah, we got a
shit,
good amount.
really?
But initially with COVID, I think we invited like 120, 140. We had like 90 to 110 that said yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then because COVID pushed it off, and then when we sent out the re-invites for the new dates, it was like people were wary about COVID still. We didn't know how it was going to go, but we were like, dude, we just need to get this done. You know what I mean? Like, if you make it, you make it. If you don't, no worries. But like, we got to go do this. You know?
It's got to get done.
Yeah.
Dude, COVID threw a curveball to everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone.
I got a wedding on the 4th of July or the 3rd of July, but eating up that weekend because there's not any good dates to pick from because everyone's getting married this year. Everyone's having babies because of COVID, all this stuff, man. It's nuts. For real, dude. It's like the next baby boomers. I'm telling you. Emma's going to be a baby boomer, but they're going to call them like
COVID baby.
They're going to call them COVID babies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's nuts.
Yeah, it is.
Even though she was planned. She wasn't a COVID baby, but she technically
No,
is a COVID baby.
she totally is a COVID baby because we were supposed to get married, and once they canceled, we were like, let's just have the kid now, and then we'll get married later, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So she's absolutely a COVID baby.
Now she's living the high life right now. Just hanging out.
Back in the
high life again.
Fucking love that song.
Here we are, 1 a.m. while she's upstairs just
Zonked.
snoozing.
Face down.
We're like, you know what? I'm going to wake my dad up in 4 hours from now.
No, she's pretty good. She'll get me up around 8.
Really? She's been sleeping in? Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'll wake her up for like during the work week and stuff, but on Saturdays, like, I'll usually wake up around 7:30 or 8 with her.
Emma's a leg.
She is. She's a good
awesome.
baby.
Awesome. I was telling you, I've never heard her cry. She's just like kind of relaxed, just takes everything in.
She's funny, man. She's learning fast. It's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
That's awesome. I was gonna add to that, and I just totally forgot what the fuck I was gonna say. Because I was gonna. I don't know what the hell I was gonna do. I didn't know what I was gonna say because the next subject I wanted to talk about was live golf, but I don't know how much Brooks Koepka was gonna get paid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what he ended up getting. Probably like 125, 150, I would think. A couple other guys signed over too. I didn't make notes on it this week though.
I didn't. We've been doing good with golf. For some reason, toward the end of the episode, we've been doing golf. And live is.
It just seemed a little repetitive to do it again this week.
It did. But
it's like, this guy's going, that guy's going.
It was just funny to see the whole live, the Brooks Koepka going over to live, and then you have Bryson DeChambeau. I just can't live without you, meme. Yeah. Holy shit,
that was great.
Fucking hilarious.
They had the U.S. Open though. That was pretty fun to watch. They had like a super challenging course at the Country Club in Brighton or Brookline. I think it was Brookline. And I think the winner was like -6 through fucking 4 rounds.
Wow.
So I was like, this is nuts. Because you used to see it nowadays, like -18, -20.
Yeah.
And it was just like very steep, like greens that are tough to read. And like, they're like, what's it? When like you're chipping onto them, like you got to come up short rather than go long because you'll be just down the backside of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So it was great weather for it, though. We're going to have awesome weather this weekend, too. It's going to be 90s.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say. I just completely switched over to live golf. Want to talk about the idiots in Quincy that think July 3rd is July 4th?
That's Weymouth.
I thought it was Quincy that, like, July 3rd, or Quincy or Braintree here in Massachusetts.
I think a lot of them do it because they celebrate on the 3rd. That's just what they do.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not a thing in Boston.
Because they know people have the 4th of July things to do. And that's probably why, because people go to the Boston on the 4th of July. So they do things for their own town on the 3rd. Yeah, the 3rd's pretty big. Definitely Weymouth, probably Quincy. I think definitely Braintree. There's a Braintree Day that's close to the 4th, but I don't think it's on or near it.
Interesting. So to explain this for all listeners from like outside of Massachusetts, I'm like from Boston, like Dorchester, like fucking Mark Wahlberg area.
Signing off
right now. My fun fact: my family knows the Wahlbergs.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know Donnie.
I know fucking Donnie Wahlberg, dude. Yeah. Anyway,
I've been to Wahlburgers.
I mean,
they got those outside of Boston. Do you know?
Hingham Shipyard, right?
Yeah, I know about the original Wahlburgers. I meant like outside of Boston.
Oh, outside of the whole thing.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you at all. But
Shake Shack's bomb. If anyone's never had that, Shake Shack's fucking flames.
Always celebrate on 4th of July, and then I moved to Quincy for 5-6 years now.
Probably.
Was I in Quincy?
Probably. Well, yeah, you had the apartment on North Quincy too.
Yeah, I was in Quincy. Just like when I say Quincy, it's like right outside of Boston. Like I'm too much of a city kid. Like that's the furthest I'm gonna fucking move. And that's when I found out July 3rd. It is for some reason the new July 4th out like on the outskirts of Boston. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you guys? Do you not know the difference between 3 and 4?
It's tough to compete. A lot of people go in town on the 4th. A lot of people go away. All that stuff.
All that stuff. All that beautiful stuff. Which great little segue to 4th of July because this is going to drop on the 4th of July. Just thought about that. Brain fart.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's going to drop for the 4th of July.
It's going to drop for the 4th of July week.
So happy 4th of July.
Yep.
Happy birthday, America.
Yeah. America. But, yeah, that's it. That's all I got this week. Maybe we'll have a Stanley Cup champion. Maybe we won't. We'll see what happens.
Oh, next week we will.
Yeah, next week for sure we will. Mm-hmm. But we got a nip to do, and then we got to call us out. It's 1:05 a.m. Did you expect to be doing this?
No, I didn't. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Love 1 a.m. episodes.
Yeah, me too. Sometimes.
Cathay going to be open for you?
Yeah, dude, they close at 2, so I'm
Cheers,
like,
buddy. We got to go. We got to go.
We got to do this. Dude, I love schnapps.
That ain't doctors, though. Jesus.
You don't like... so, I didn't even say what it was. So, I like this. We like Dr. McGillicuddy's, but this is a brand that I really like. It's called Haram Walker Peppermint Schnapps. I love these. Years ago, I used to buy these by, like, the bottles and just do nips off of them. And I found the nips for this week, and I was like, yeah, let's fucking do it. You don't like them? Oh, I fucking love them.
Not in the mood for hard alcohol today, though.
No. Schnapps had me legless in Germany, by the way. In Germany, they're just like, you know when you're out to dinner and they're just like, hey, you want dessert? And like it's some cake or whatever. They don't do that. They'll come around
They
and be
got
like,
Fernet Branca and
you
stuff.
want schnapps? And I'm like, already shit-faced. I'm like, yeah, let's fucking do it. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm blackout now, just trying to make my way through Munich, Germany.
That's pretty sick.
Yep. All right. Want to call us out, bud?
Yes, sir. Thanks, everyone, for listening. If there's anything you want to see us cover next episode, let us know. Our links are in the description, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye, guys.
Peace.